Good afternoon to all the delegates. This is the end of 2024 and we, the whole team of Prabodhini, have tried our level best to enlighten your path with knowledge the whole year, and since 2 years we are doing this Prabodhini webinar series. So before starting today's scientific session, let us seek the blessings of Lord Dhanvantari, and we will start with Dhanvantari Vandana.
नमामि धन्वन्तरिं आदिदेवं सुरासुरे वन्दित पादपद्मम् लोके जरारुकभयमृत्युनाशम् दादारमीशं विविधौषधीनां धन्वन्तरिं रमानाथं सर्वरोगनिवारकम् आयुर्वेदप्रवर्तारम् वन्दे पीयूषदायकम् सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Om Dhanvantare Namaha. Namaskaram to all and a very warm welcome in the 21st Parva of Prabodhini webinar series. So we have completed 20 Parva, 20 episodes, and you all people have participated actively in our journey and made this successful. So before starting the scientific session, let us just revise the rules and regulations of Prabodhini. It will take just 2 minutes, so we will start with the presentation now. As we know, Prabodhini webinar series is organized by Shri Babu SIngh Ayurvedic, PG Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Farrukhabad, UP. It is our effort to bring all the gems from all over the world in front of you so that they can share their knowledge, they can share their practical experiences with all you people and enlighten your path in the practice. So our Ayurveda is the knowledge, ancient knowledge given by the sages, and we all know that it is encoded in the form of formulations, in the form of shlokas, and we all need a teacher, we all need a lamp to lighten our pathway, we all need a guide who can explain all these hidden secrets of Ayurveda to us. So this Prabodhini is designed in such a way that we all collect those knowledges people from different parts of the world, from different branches of Ayurveda who are practicing in their field and successfully giving results on the patients so that they can share their practical experiences with you all people. So in our journey, our patrons are Dr. Shailendra Yadav sir, chairman from JS Group, Dr. Sunita Yadav ma'am, director from JS Group, and our beloved principal, Dr. Manjunath NS sir, principal of Shri Babu SIngh Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital. Now it is PG Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital. We have PG in 3 departments. So we have the organizers of Prabodhini webinar series, Dr. Nihar Ranjan Mahanta, Associate Professor from Panchakarma Department, Dr. Shrinas BS, Assistant Professor from Panchakarma Department, and me, Dr. Preeti Mai Sahu, Associate Professor from Sachidasa Department, Shri University. So with all our effort, we are arranging this Prabodhini webinar series. We have started our webinar from 25th April 2023, and lots of knowledgeous people, lots of gems of Ayurveda, they participated with us. They gave their most valuable time to us and they shared so many things with us, and so many new things we came to know in our journey. We learned so much. We all delegates, they got the benefit from Parva, all the Parvas of Prabodhini webinar series. And today we have reached Parva 21 of Prabodhini webinar series. And the guest speaker who is present with us is Dr. Venkata Narayana Joshi, sir. He is the director of Association Ayurveda Academy CIC United Kingdom. And his topic will be Rasa Panka Mana Prabodhini. And we have the whole team of Dravyagun department with us, Dr. Yalappa sir, Dr. Ashish Sharma sir, and Dr. Shamna ma'am, who will be coordinating with the scientific session and Q&A session. So, just for the revision of rules and regulations, yes, registration is mandatory. So, registration is done through filling the Zoom forms provided in the link. After filling in the Zoom forms, you have to join the WhatsApp Prabodhini through the link provided, as all the further proceedings will be intimated in the group. On successful submission of the form, you will get a confirmation mail containing Zoom meeting joining link. Please join the webinar with the link provided. It is separate, it is individualized for all. So you have to join with that link, so that will reflect your email ID and your ID, your face on the webinar. Next, your name and email ID in the Google form should be correct, as it will be used in your e-certificates. So please be very careful while filling up your name and email ID, because your certificates will be issued by that name only. And if any person who is joining with a different email ID, who is using email ID of their friends or teachers or students, then please share the information with us so that your certificates could be prepared perfectly. Okay. E-certificates will be provided to all the participants attending the webinar more than 45 minutes. So attendance is compulsory. Please try to attend the webinar and please try to gain all the knowledge from our guest speakers. You will get your e-certificates through email ID registered with us within 7 days, and thus there is no need to share your email IDs during the webinar sessions. We will surely send your certificate. We will check with the attendance and we will send your certificate within 7 working days. So you will get the certificates automatically. Okay, no need to share, no need to get panic. So with this, I end my presentation and I wish all the very best of luck to our Prabodhini team, to the Dravyaguna team, so that they can take over the scientific session. And of course, we are moving into the new year. 2025 is coming from tomorrow. And in the new year also, we will try to bring more and more knowledgeous persons, and we will try to share their knowledge. We will try to enlighten your path. We will try to give the best from our side. So with this, I end my session and I hand over the scientific session to Dr. Shamna. She will introduce our guest speaker and she will take the scientific session forward. And in the Q&A session, please share your questions so that it will be discussed in the question and answer session. Okay. So with this, I sign off. It is Dr. Preetimai Sahu. Thank you so much. Hand over to Dr. Shamna.
A very good afternoon to one and all. I warmly welcome you all to the 24th hour of National Webinar Series Prabodhini, organized by Shri Babu SIngh Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Farrukhabad. I am Dr. Shamna K, Assistant Professor, Department of Dravyaguna, and I am very glad to be today's moderator for today's session. And we have reached 21st hour of Prabodhini with the continuous support and effort from our chairman, sir, and director, ma'am. And today Department of Draviguna is proudly introducing an eminent personality and a guest speaker, Dr. Venkata Narayana Joshi sir. So I'll brief some introduction regarding sir. Sir is the Director, Association Ayurveda Academy, CIC UK, and sir has completed his UG from Osmania University, Hyderabad, MD and PhD in Draviguna from Gujarat Ayurveda University, Jamnagar. Sir has worked as a teaching faculty at ALN Rao Memorial Ayurveda College, Koppa during the year 1988-2012. Sir has been worked as an academic consultant at University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka, and tutor at Thames University, London, on deputation during this time. Sir has published various articles in national and international journals. He is continuing as a senior lecturer till today at College of Ayurveda, UK Limited, London. Currently joined as a professor at GGIMS UP. Sir has been spreading the course of Ayurveda throughout the globe by attending and participating in related seminars, conferences, guest lectures, training programs in UK, Europe. So I'm very glad to welcome you, sir, for today's session. And I thank those who are joined for today's session. And sir, so today we are focusing on the topic that is Rasa Panka, Mana Prabodhini. And I would like to welcome Dr. Venkata Narayana Joshi sir to share the insight of regarding the knowledge regarding the topic. Sir, please.
Thank you. And yeah, sorry for all these disruptions. We were on the way to discuss about Rasa Panka, Mana, Mana Vijnana, or it is something like, I called it Rasa Panka. The reason why, because when I have published some article under the name Rasa Panka, the fundamentals of Dravyaguna Vijnana Shastra, later you might see into it. The reasons are obvious. Rasa as a dhatu, which is the most significant um, dhatu for the nourishment of all the tissues. Rasa and Vijnana, which is very much linked in Dravyaguna from the perspective of combination of elements which produce the rasa, and the combination of rasas which are affecting on the doshas. As you all know, the doshas which are mitigated, the doshas which are aggravated by the group of rasa combinations, everything is given in Rasa Vimana Sthana, first chapter. So the Rasa Panka, I named it because the Panka is something like the mud where the life of lotus thrives out of this soup of minerals. Similarly, the soup of biochemistry, the soup of physiology, which is linked to rasa as a dhatu, is the consumed ahara dravyas, and basically the rasa is an initiative process in the dravyaguna for the active efficacy as ahara dravya, because rasa pradhanyam ahara dravyam we all know, but how significantly these rasas contribute into the potency which are affecting at multiple levels for the therapeutic benefits is the important of rasa and combinations to understand, and rasa threshold to understand, and hence it became as a soup of life supporting measurement, mana. Manayati iti manaha, the measurement which consists of the biochemical pathways linked to, we all know, like carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, and the predominant of these elements in conjunction with the sulfur, phosphorus kind of correlations at large is the composition of the cellular units of biochemistry, which is obviously linked to the theories of the rasa formations into the digestive pathways from the ahara rasa dravyas and their combinations, and um, and then the bodhakatvam is about the unfolding of this link of the rasa combinations. So when we say from the Rasavimana point of view, how much is the Rasavimana explains about the um, um, dosha, beshaja, vimana, miyate, jnayate, dosha beshaja visheshanam from the rasa sambandhatvam or rasa bodhakatvam. So I started understanding the rasa from the point of view as an elemental composition with the theory of just in evolution, like the qualities of Mahabhutas as a numerology when we express, was like Akashat, Vayu, Vayu, Ragni, Ragnyam, up and Prithvi, Prithvi, the sequence is there, into the formations to understand the potency of the rasa. When it comes from Akasha as a one element like Shabda as a guna, the substance with the virtue of the guna, and when it is increased to the sparsha, increased to the rupa as a manifestation protocols of elemental qualities in the manifestation of sensory pathways for the life is equivalent to quantify from the quality ascertainment like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if we give certain examples like 5 is the number for the Prithvi, because it is having Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandhas. All these gunas are possibly present in the manifestation of the inorganic to organic form of the creation. From the soup, as we mentioned, from the oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, or carbon based sequences into the phosphorylations. The sulfur and phosphorus to the minerals and elements and other things are which are very minimal trace elements present at the large is 96% of soup is consisting of these elements. To understand something is being burned, something is helping to get it burned from the source of the atmosphere being created in the bioenergy is exactly the same elemental physical form of the soup of composition should be understood into the physiology for the benefit of making our own possible link from the dosha, dhatu, and the rasa efficacies in multiple levels when we understand from the some the rasa what is that samana pratyarabdha, vichitra pratyarabdha to the um, Prakriti Samasamaveta to the Vikriti Vishama Samveta. And these are all the terminologies which are used in the Rasa Vimana. You go through them to give the examples for understanding the link of their efficacy into the therapeutics. So, most of the basics of therapeutics are ascertained or standardized from the concept of rasa in Ayurveda. So we have Shadeva Rasa iti. Into those combinations, it is a new way just to understand um, how can we quantify the concept of rasa into the elemental composition by understanding the energetics or the qualities, the guna. Because our sampradaya, our shastras are all based on the guna, because it's a qualitative science. It's a subjective empirical science linked to the qualities being understood and analyzed and applied, which is beginning from the qualities of the sattva, rajas, tamas, as we all know, and how these qualities being in subtle entered into the psych level. So the nourishment to the sensory pathways into the mind as a sequence from body linked to the senses is Sharirendriya Sattvanam Samyogo Dhari. And that sequence we have to understand for unfolding and quantifying what rasas we are taking from the substances and how we are combining them to get the therapeutic benefit, health benefits out of it. So this whole chapter is you can go through it, and it is the basics for us to understand the concept of rasa and its theories. As I started mentioning about the numerology, Akasha 1, Vayu 2, Agni 3, Apu 4, and Prithvi 5. When it comes to the Prithvi 5, in conjunction with as a Adhara Adeya Sambandha, or like Up and Prithvi Mahabhuta Sangatatvam, which generates into the magnificent quality of 5 plus 4 is the 9 is the potency for the manifestation into the plants attained into the final stage of the rasabodhanam is the taratama bhavena madhuryatvam. So madhurata is that the reason why it is first said in Ayurveda as a madhura rasa, because this madhura rasa is an outcome of the compositions of jala initiated into the Prithvi as a soup of chemical composition we understand for the manifestation or formation of the rasas. So the basically we are trying to unfold the rasa formation into the plant life, where we are aushadebhyo annam, and we see ahara, which is a result from this osha or the transpirating plants. And these plants initially is a basis of generating only the unclarified rasa composition. The rasa composition which manifests in the plant early life is something like kashaya rasa, for example, at the most. So, what is the significance of kashaya rasa in the formation of the plants at the beginning, which is not manifested? Like unripe mango, as beginning with the kashaya rasa, for example, and then when it is maturing, it is turning into amla tattva, and then when the mango is fully ripened, it is madhura tattva. So, this is the sequence of rasa parinata, rasa growing into the ultimate potency of the numerology. 5 plus 4 is the 9 for our quantifications to understand in the basis of generating theories which are linked to rasa and the dosha combinations in single to the multiple levels, and an outcome of the therapeutic protocols being ascertained with the rasa combination of the substances. So so this is just a logistic thinking about the Prithvi with the 5 Vishesha Gunas in association with the Vayu Mahabhuta, and that makes into a sequence of 5 plus 2 is the 7 as an initiative process into the manifestation of the rasa in every plant kingdom at majority, and we see whether it is the Kashaya rasa or Tikta rasa. And the Tikta rasa is very weak potential when we connect from the Akasha to the Vayu Mahabhuta, which stands only at the numerology of 3. Vayu is 2 and Akasha is just 1. So this 2 plus 1, 3 combination has a bitterness, or 5 plus 2, 7 combination of Kashaya rasa, undefined ways of growing equations. Equations are with the rasa. Equations are with the um, with the rasa dravya dosha vikara prabhavan. Rasa dravya dosha vikara prabhavan. So rasa dravya into the dravya combinations of development for the benefit of pacifying the doshas. As we understand, Madhuram Lavana for a simple ways of pacifying Vata, or Madhura Tikta Kashaya for the pacification of Pitta, or Katwamla Lavana for the aggravation of Pitta. We all understand these three combinations of rasas into the dosha efficacies logistically being explained in the Rasa Vimana for the measurement. And then further from that point to understand and add the logistics behind the numerology, the incompleteness into the manifestation of the Madhuratva, beginning from Kashaya Tattva to the other rasas in the process like Kashaya Tikta, and then to the possible attainment of Katurasa subsequently, not predominating, but predominates at the end into the maturity by the large is the Amlatva and then to the Madhuratva. That is what we are interested into. So the Amlatva, when it comes to the point like Prithvi and Agni Mahabhuta, the Agni Mahabhuta 5 and 3 as an 8 is the potency for understanding the Amlatva. So we have, of course, a little bit of differences into the Amlatva manifestations, but at large, it is the Agni Tattva should be predominated into the formation of the Amla Rasa, and thus Amla becomes into more as a Hrudyanam, Amlam Hrudyanam, into the therapeutic benefits. So understanding the variations into the Amla Rasa Dravyas, Amla Vargas, now we understand how important being predominated by Amla Rasa like Amalaki, which is the Hrudya Prabhavaka, and also the similarly the Dadima as a Amla Rasa, Amla and Madhur Rasa predominant is a Hrudya Prabhava. Substances which are, though by virtue of direct affinity of Amlatva will not be aggravating Pitta, but it is instead is mitigating the theories of these Vishama Samavetas or Prakriti Rupatvena, Prakriti Anusaratvena, Vishamatvam, Vishamarambhatvam into the rasa combinations, helping into the achievement as a means of therapeutic benefits, which are affinitive to which system the substances are reaching out to be. So understand that way is some examples are being given into the text of the same chapter. We are understanding from the Tanduliyaka as a substance with the Madhuratva, even though it is predominated, with the Madhuratva reaching out into the Srishtatva, Srishtavinmutratva, or Snehatva to the Sandhanam or the Vrishatva, is a kind of benefit from the Madhura Rasa into the dosha pacifying is not the same when it is consumed. So that way, the Vishama Sanghatatvam, Visham Bhinna Sanghatatvam, or Vikriti Vishama Samavetatvam, these are all the causes. Vikriti Samavetatvam is the reason why, with the increased other qualities, by example, like Ruksha Guna maybe, and thus mitigating the benefit of that Madhuratva ultimately not affected by Tanduliyaka instead of the anabolic activities, instead of Brahmanatva, and it has a basis of producing the Langhanatva at the outset of consuming this Tanduliyaka. So the Tanduliyaka, for the vegetable point of view, to the seeds, which are the most amino acid benefiting, growth factor developing, and child nutrition, which is achieved from these amaranthus varieties. So we have so many edible amaranthus varieties are being tried for baby foods preparations, energetic food preparations, and for the metabolism, not into the increase of food. Not into the increase of the plumpness or the Brahmanatva by the Vrishya Prabhava into the Dravya. So the combinations are something which are more importantly mentioned in our in this chapter. Uh, yeah. So yeah, the rasa. I try to make something. Yeah. Mm. The nimitta iha kalu vyadhinam nimitta purvarupa rupa upashaya sankhya pradhanya vidhi vikalpa balakala vishesha sthana visheshanam pravishyanantaram dosha beshaja deshakala sharira saha ahara satmya sattva prakriti vayasam. All these parameters are being given here for us to have this Rasapanka compositions of the understanding their efficacies into the mitigating the characteristics by the upashaya anupashaya prabhavatmaka, or what is that pururupas which are generated from the point of view to samprapti vigatana is the basis of understanding the rasa pradhanya dravya substances being used in the therapeutics. So it's easy for us to understand by means of the prabhavatva or rasa pradhanyatva into the benefit of systemic ailments, ekala dravyas. Now we understand how significant today for the benefit of achieving health from administering ekala dravyas or single herbs or single herb management of the conditions and diseases where the regulations process are much more complex into the globalization of our Ayurveda for the benefit of the health. And hence we are heading towards again for the simplification of using one or two simple combinations. Of course, we have like a one combination principles of Amalaki as a means of Vayastapaniyanam, and we understand and interpret how therapeutic benefit of Vayastapana is ascertained by understanding the changes in the biochemical value with the help of now, because today we are integrating with the greater effect of conventional systems of understanding from the point of in genetic engineering, genomics, and as well as to the artificial intelligence, and everything is being added for us to evaluate how this longevity by biochemical changes is possible with the combinations of the rasa initiated into the benefit of therapeutic efficacy. Because rasa bodhanatvam, rasa grahyatvam, rasa pradhanyatvam, rasa is the basic interesting subject for us into the point of the dietetics, which are coming out as influenced basis for implied sense under the rasa would be with the qualitative substances generating the ishta varna gandha rasopetam. So it's an initiative of the ripeningness where the sensory perceptions of olfactory involved into the taste perception secondarily anumanataha, and then pratyakshataha being consumed, and that taste is the most important significant biopathways from the gut into the brain for the registration. So that therapeutic higherness of efficacies are coming from the epigenetic level. The epigenetic levels are explained in this chapter extensively with the ahara vidhi vishesha ayatanani and how the food should be consumed. You all know when you study this chapter as a vimanam, and then the therapeutic benefits ascertained to that. So, how potentized from the ahara substances of rasa simplification into the therapeutic benefits, reaching out into the hrudya prabhava, is by these are a few examples and experimentations. When we try to go into the market and see amala sara, amala sara gandaka, as we see, like gandaka sara amala, into the context of the maturity of the color onset And even we know the standardization of the quality in Ayurveda coming to the Amalaki Kara Pratichiyam. So to retain the quality element into the maturity of the plant kingdom, they have made into the rejuvenation standards, saying that Amalaki Karapratichiyam Amalaki Rasayanam Vyakyasyamaha. So that indicates that how careful they were in the past for standardization of the quality into the ascertaining rasa formation into that plant species being grown, and virtually by physical characteristics, organoleptic methods of evaluation of the substances, and then understanding them for the means of consumptions. And that way, it is going to benefit in multiple level of genomics being affected from these epigenetics of those substances prepared. Like because it is the Lehiam preparations, we have Amalaki, somebody may have a different confectionery preparations, and Ayush Ahar is that the subjectivity now for us to understand this quality delivery of these substances reaching out into the Hridya Prabhava. So the selection of these Amalaki fully matured from different countries, tropical belts being traded in the market, and seasonal point of view for the collection. You all know about the Dravya Sangrahana for the quality enhancement. And then the Amalaki potentization is by Samskarohi Gunantaradhanam. Samskarohi Gunantaradhanam is by Amalaki Rasa. Swarasa is being added into the Amalaki powder to triturate and make into Amalaki Rasayanam potentization. So how many avartanas are being done, and how this Amalaki Rasayana at the end is going to reach into the fineness of it biochemistry pathways through the rasa, because rasa is only the one which is RRR. Into the slides I'm not able to show you here the reasons we made into the combinations of rasa, rudira, rakta, sara, sara, bhuta, prabhavena iti rasaha. So it's like rasa, rudira, rakta, and they are all beginning as a rasa with the ra, into the shabda with the sa, is a sara as a guna. The sara as a guna is more easily flowing. Like Sara quality among Vimshati qualities is like selectively the transmission is, as we understand, by a succession of thin layer chromatography kind of testing parameters, and how this surging of this of the quality essence reaching out as a measurement mana to understand the rasa potency of the saraguna of that substance. So saraguna of that substance by TLC studies or any other spreading out studies or like instances to understand how physiologically the barriers would be very much less into the dhatus, and each dhatu by specification of its predominance by element. And we understand that bhutagnis into those means of acceptability from the Agneyatva to the Vayuvatva or Jaliyatva, whatever the density based studies to understand for assimilation. So this rasa is now a big protocol for into the genesis of the nourishment and therapeutic benefits by the quality of the rasa being ascertained from the plants or the substances yield from those rasas to be graded or qualified by numerology being ascertained into understanding, like say Maduratama, Maduratara, and Madura. And the Madura with the 9 valency into the A level or A plus level or A plus 2 level or A plus 3 level is the basis of grading into the same 9 plus 9A, 9A2, 9A3 as a numerology should be understood for the valency when we are statistically producing evidence into the practices by the rasa combinations of substances therapeutically being given and evaluated symptomatology from the points of Nidana Panchaka. So that is what the avastha vishesha rupantarattvena rasa pradhanya dravya ahara dravya giving the qualitative results that should, by the basis of examples given in the text, to be experimented. So that is the whole idea of this mana measurement from the Rasapanka, equating with the conventional thoughts of soup of biochemistry related to the major elements like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen, with the links of these phosphorylation theories, and then the other associated minerals and vitamins, or like very mean traces only to understand the pathways of the biochemistry, and thus explain how this rasa being transformed from the inorganic to the organic level for the sinchana, or the kind of nourishment into the every tissue, is by virtue of the theories which are explained from Samana Pratyarabdha to Vichitra Pratyarabdha to Prakriti Samatra to the Vikruti Vishama Samvetas, and all these terminologies. And then further, they can be extended to the Paraspara Avagahat, Paraspara Samsparshat, Paraspara Anupraveshat, Paraspara Upakarat, all these terminologies which are being used to understand the mutual basis of nullifying or aggravating at the coming to the dosha level of the signs and symptoms, with the upashaya and anupashaya is being given. For example, the pururupas which are starting by understanding with the anannabilasha or aruchi, and then asya vairasyata and arasajnata, these are the grades which are being begin from the rasa dushti or rasadhatu initiated signs and symptoms to be experimented, and thus gained the taste and perceptions back with the simple applications of what Ayurveda says about the combinations. For example, like Lavanardraka Bhakshanam, for example, Lavanardraka Bhakshanam, Bhojanagre Sadapatyam, then the experimentations from the not this GM crop gingers, or the gingers which are very small ones, and then triturations with the Himalayan pink salt with different lipids media, say for example the linseed oil or the olive oil or the coconut oil or the sesame oil, and different combinations of these oils to break down the particles into the nano for the understanding of the therapeutic benefits given for the reversing of the signs and symptoms of acceptability of the food by means of subjective validation. Should it be in the way the rasa-based therapeutic interventions, where the recommended or the therapeutic references are available, like the Amlam Hrudyanam level to understand to the Lavanardaka Bhakshanam combinations, and as well as Madhugruta Prayogas, we all know how symbolic and significant Marakatva of the Sama Pramana of the Madhugruta, which is going to generate the negative biofeedback of the therapeutics into the genesis of Marayati, by means of whether it is initiating into the model of physio consciousness is altered by, or immune modulations taking place, or how it is going to develop the toxicity into the body is by agnimupahatya, or by other means of added ama, or how these pathways are being explained, when it is similarly into the application of Surya Avarta, Surya Vedaka, the kind of the headaches which are triggered by the sunlight, increasing sunlight photophobia, and then headaches and nausea and vomiting sensations, into those conditions of this Madhukruta Sama pramanas, or how therapeutically indicated is beneficial. So these are the therapeutic studies should be designed and derived into the post-graduation for the explanations of or the measurements of the rasa-based combinations into the therapeutics is understood. So we have to make it more into the precisions of these fundamental theories when are explained and understanding fully and making these rasa combinations by numerology being ascertained to validate through statistical process of for symptomatic benefits. There are so many examples which are given into the same chapter for understanding the rasa combinations and their therapeutic benefits into the prabhava rasadosha prabhavatva. Um, for example, uh, the tila, the sesame, as it is said, Vishama Samavetastu Tile Kashaya Katutikta Madura Yadi. If this the combinations of the Kashaya Katu Tikta into the context of the Vishama Samveta, then the Madhuratva, the Madhura Rasatva of the Tila, even though if it is much said about Kapha Vardhanatva or the Madhura Rasa Tridosha Shamakatva, the kind of benefits from the tilas are being overweighed by its efficacy to increase the pitta and the kapha. Of course, when it is pacified by Shatmya into the vata dosha. So that way, Vishama Samvetastu Tile Kashaya Kartikta Maduraha Yedhime Rasaha Samaya Matraya Samvetas Tile Api Pitta Shleshma Harastidosha Harova Syat. So, but then these therapeutics are changing by the initiation of the rasas, which are not into the prakrutistha of the development of the substance by virtue of the predominate of the rasa. Then equally we know how in Dravyaguna the substances like pipali, the substances like lavana, the substances like kshara, predominating substances, when we are using in therapeutics and we are using wisely and with the combinations and not in the excess as the dosages. And that is the caution when it is being given by the charaka only for these three substances. And when we see the aguru or the arka, aguru, and another substance is given as an examples to see, even though it's vatavardhakatva, pittavardhakatva is a mitigation for the benefit into the therapeutics. Is mentioned, um, yeah. Uh, Yeah. The rasas like Arka, Agaru, and Guduchi as an examples when it is given to understand with the Arkas Katurasa Pradhanatva or Agaru Tiktarasa Pradhanatva or Guduchi Tiktarasa Pradhanatva. Um, um, Even the Vatavardhanatva or Pittavardhanatva of this is being mitigated by the Ushnavirjatva. Vata is pacified by the Ushnavirjatva, not by the direct Katu provocations into the manifestation. Equally, we can see that Shinti is also Katu Rasa predomination, which is the Madhura Vipakatva when it is being transformed, is able to mitigate the vata and as well as kapha, and instead increasing excess of pitta is not seen. So the rasas by initiation of the prakrutistha or vikrutistha into the samveta or combinations can be interpreted to their therapeutic benefits by assessment of qualities by the taratama bhedas of that rasa predominance, whether it's a madhuratama, madhuratara, madhura, or all these rasas should be graded to understand their composition for the kind of therapeutic benefit is being understood into the Rasapanka theory. So it's still an initial way of thinking, equating into the conventional ways of understanding the biochemistry into the pathways of principles of Ayurveda, equated with it to understand and evaluate by the numerology of rasa combinations. Because the rasa is the most significant aspect of terminology, which is linked to the combinations which are like 63 vikalpas, or it is coming equated to the quality of the biogenesis, like qualities like 64 vrittis or 64 arts which are generated by the virtue of the brain. So the links from the gut into the rasa formation, into the nourishment of the sensory pathways of the mind, is enabling the skill management by the quality of the sattva as an initiative guna into the benefit of health and health related environment. For that is what the sattva ahara, sattvic ahara, when it is being defined, and you can see the article what I have written trying to explain the equations from that sattvic ahara, how from the Bhagavad Gita point of view is also being given, and those in conjunction with the um, in conjunction with the epigenetics by the food consumption with Tarmana, Bunjita, or like Nath Vilambita Mashniyat, Nath Jalpa Mashniyat. So all these principles are there to understand the celebration of the food as a medicine is associated with the conditions of the transforming the genetic pathways is highly an application from Ayurveda point of view to understand as a means of rasa into the expression of the emotional rasa as an expression of the emotional navarasas, as we understand how our brains are working. Our brains are into the positivity, or our brains are entertained, and as we eat, though, is the sense or the preparations made that what we eat are we that is the principle behind these therapeutics to understand from the combinations of rasas into the essence of maturity from the ultimate into the Madhuratva, because we can see that the Madhuratva at the end is the kind of sugars which are defined, whether it is what level of the fructose, fructose, galactose, lactose, or maltose, whatever the different sugar metabolisms, and ultimately they become as a prioritized metabolic pathways for healing process when the lipid profiles are being used for the closingness of the damages into the cellular or membrane level of potentiality of the wear and tear process, and thus the lipid profiles in conjunction with the sugar profiles are meant for the repair faster and or healing faster, hastening factor. And that we can see that chronic wound managements, and where the pure honey with the ghee is both are the Madhura Rasa predominant, is being dressed and applied for quickening of the healing or granulation tissue formations. So that is the way we understand that maturity of the rasa into the quality of the essence from the examples being given in Ayurveda to be experimented for the therapeutic healing benefits being faster, and the combination because it is not into the pathways exactly fit for the Prakritista Samvayatva, Samvetatva for the doshas, then the negative effects are being minimized. It is not that easily aggravating doshas. So if you start using black pepper for the Lekana substance or for the weight management, the Maricha, so it is a Tikshna Dravya, and then it is the best Pramati Dravya, or it is the Dharma Pattana, whatever the qualities which are ascertained to the Maricha, and that has to be therapeutically validated by the samskaras, like the cow's ghee used for roasting these black pepper, and then prepared traditional recipes into the therapeutic benefits. So the matra, pramana, and then the or being the guna anuvartana takes place accordingly. In which preparations are we using these substances to attain what benefit is ultimately an approach for understanding the Rasapanka into the mana or the measurement from the point of view of the guna or the qualities ascertained, with the examples are being therapeutically explained through the Rasavimana as an initiation for us to understand and learn and evaluate the theories behind into the experimentations for the evidence to be created from the practices. And that is where an approach should be. We understand from the rasa formations to the rasa combinations. So this is what the amlatva and madhuratva is a sequential maturity being graded at the 9 and 8 level of the final achievement into the elemental strength is a model for evaluating through the numerology into the biochemistry or biochemical pathways with the help of the conventional link. Now what we are having the genomics and the studies or with the artificial intelligence to be as a tools for validating the principles explained in the Rasavimana for our benefit into the therapeutic theories. So otherwise, because this is the futuristic level of understanding, the healing perspective, because there's so many herbs are being under threat or being with the quality deprivations, or even if it is the quality benefits, then still it is not being properly validated. For example, ashwagandha, we know that how many countries have been banned, and the reasons why would be because it is not the same the root of the ashwagandha within a somnifera, but it by the basis of alkaloids and withenols or with alkaloids when they ascertained, and the plant portions like aerial portions are also being traded, then it can be toxic. So we are losing the grounds of therapeutic indications. Therapeutic indications, what text says, exactly the precisions of this dasha, 10 parts of its usage according to the species is very clearly given. Even the guidelines, when it is being given, why any traders or testing means for the exporting is a mismanagement for the blame what we got for the ashwagandha, though it is the most popular substance and consumption as a food supplement now into the West for sports medicine to mind medicine and so many conditions of illness or linked to the wellness for the supplement, as like people using like multivitamin, and the ashwagandha is being used, or brahmi is being used, or any amlaki is being used, or so many substances, arjuna is being used. So that is the trend now to understand the benefits of rasa mediated changes, how they are equated with the substance being used or grown, and then the qualities should be understood to the testing of these protocols is an initiation of my paper. Rasapanka will be shared with you to have a thought and have a look into the article what I have written. Is a benefit for the people to open their minds, and then Rasa Vimana, how significantly the chapter is being dedicated. into the measurements now being given for the vikalpas. We have so many into the applications of that knowledge, and thus equating, as I mentioned, starting from Agni Deepana and Pachana level of interventions of therapeutic benefits, starting with like Mishi or the Mishreya. And the Mishreya for the Madhura Rasa and Madhura Vipaka, the kind of mitigation and initiations of the Agni into the maturity by how this the Katurasa is very less. The predominated Madhura and Madhura Vipaka is more. Still, it has an ability into the Deepana substance. Similarly, Deepana Pachana like Nagakesara or Deepana being bitter substance like Musta, Nagaramota, and then Amapachana qualities of these should be studied into the therapeutic models of rasa-based initiated analogy for the numerology to be developed from the point of view of finding the strength in the quality of these rasa combinations. So ekala rasa to the bahurasas in the predominance, and then the therapeutic outcome is a different perspective of prabhava, ultimately generated into systemic level, which system is being responded. But we understand that most of the hepatobiliary system and the liver functions are being the secondary at large. Our herbs are being showing into the greater potency of the restoration of health from the immune modulation from the gut to the brain axis. And these are the theories which are linked to the rasa, should be explored from the cardiac health to the by means of like what are the measurements into the pure rasa being much circulated into the cardiovascular system. So this pranana kind of effect, jivana kind of effect, or the tushti kind of effect, or the pushti kind of effect, or the tarpana kind of effects are to be analyzed, therapeutic benefits by the substances by virtue of the pathways being analyzed by the rasa combinations. So, and hence rasa is the most important, significant tool for us to understand and measure with the which the major applications are analyzed from the simple ways of analogs being used for the betterment of health restoration. So that is an initiation of food as a medicine, Ayush Ahara as a protocols now developed, and then the theories linked to those combinations are well explained into the compatibility of combinations to raise the synergism for the positive health benefits which are linked to that is the theory behind the Rasa Panka into the mana or the measurement for the prabodhana or to enlighten and understand and explore your brains into that area. So whether it is the Mutrala Prabhava, Medya Prabhava, Hridya Prabhava, Deepana Pachana, Anulomana, all these things should be the Prabhavatmaka substances should be understood for the quality ascertainment being quantified by the rasa combinations. So that is the way, whether it is how it can be like Ubhayatmaka being into the Madhura Tama point of view of Madhu as an adjuvant being used into the therapeutics for the dosha nirharanatam as a supportive means of eliminating by means of utklesha, that utklesha. So being that kapha kara, kapha janaka property of this Madhuratama grade 3 into the 3A potency of this Madhyasti is producing that Vamana effect or Vamanopaga effect. for the doshas being eliminated. So that is an assessment of excess of consumptions of that ekarasabhyaso durbalakaranam, sarvarasabhyaso balakaranam basis of the composition of the rasas combinations as an initiation from the Madhuramla predominating dietary substances and dietary combinations at larger, more than two-thirds quantity, and the rest of the rasas are being shared by value of any composition prepared into the food as a medicine basis. And salt, we understand that it is not significant rasa into the generating of any qualities being added over there, but it becomes as a catalyst for any therapeutic benefits being going to result in the presence of the salt or sodium and chlorine. And that is the way the food as a medicine theory should be evaluated for the propositions of a balanced diet from the Madhuramla Pradhanatvam to the Katu Tikta Kashaya as a Madhyamatvam, or then the Avaratva is the Lavana as a means of exploring the food as medicine concept should be from the rasa context should we understand. So I think I will allow students to ask a few questions or raise queries regarding an approach of Rasa Panka, or the soup of biochemical pathways linked from conventional to non-conventional means of integration by the help of modernized technology today into the field of Ayurgenomics. Should we be studied from Ayurveda or Dravyaguna point of view for the validation of the claims from the text in the examples being given in the Rasa Vimana chapter as a beginning to understand standardization of the therapeutic effects of rasamana and rasa vikalpa, rasa applications into the dosha dhatu, dosha dhatu mala restorations should we understand. So, yeah, anybody can post a question or anything like that. Yeah. So, and suddenly I had to think about any subject, and I found this article being published. Then I said, okay, it's a good thought for the students to understand the concept behind and how this significance of rasa is being the foremost important tool for measurement. Should we make into the validation of the sattvic quality, ultimately is the food as medicine basis of therapeutics came to my mind, and then I wanted to share with you some of the glimpse of my ideology into the course of therapeutics by the measurement of rasa and combinations. So, because that is the most important acceptability from the point of view of the Agni into the body as what makes it interest into the biophysiology is the production of that good quality of the rasa as an essence into the biofield of soup of panka, rasa panka of biophysiology. That is the most important by measurements. Different, I started explaining about rasa vikaras or rasa dosha, rasa dhatu, janita doshas, or extended into the pathways of the shakas and their signs and symptoms with the rasa pradhana substances in combinations for the therapeutic benefits. So it's the subjective level of measurement of the prenana or tushti, as I explained, and then the and then the Pushti, Tusti, and Prinana, and then the Tarpana kind of therapeutic benefits should be modeled for the benefits of Rasa Pradhanatvam in the references what it is being given. So and then equally the important Saraguna, as I started mentioning about, because it is thus quality ascertained therapeutic effects are more as with the Saraguna, because it has an ability to transform and then equate and assimilate and similitude with the environment of the bio, from the tissue variations to the septums or the membranes. And that is where the membrane potential theories for the Sara, should it be replaced with the quality of the Sara present into the substances being used as food as a medicine or therapeutic benefits out of it. So each quality is a standard tool for our understanding the therapeutic benefits by the rasa initiation is a Draviguna perspective studies into the laboratory and then equated by the science and symptomatology through Upashaya and Anupashaya basis of interventions, if not seriousness into the eliminating of the diseases, but it is to the prevention of the health and then to the health restoration and then the pathways of the health from the physical level to the sensory level and reaching into the mind level. And that is what the Satmya Tattva, as explained in this chapter, becomes it is equated with the one's conscious body model. And that is what Satvika, Sattva, Amsha, or Satmya from the basis. The Satmyata is linked to Sattva from the mind and then to the epigenetics, and thus being habituated and for the benefit of health-free status of disease-free state of health ascertained by this quality delivery of the substances should we understand for the prabhava or the benefits for systemic level or by rasayana level and is rasa into the rasayana level of the therapeutic application. So that is what we can think about the rasayan vikalpas with the dosha and combinations to the potency of the taratama vedas and thus equating to the examples of the rasa predominant therapeutic validation for the evidence to be created by the practice. So, yeah. Official Prabodhini WhatsApp group, please join. Yeah. Any questions? Because of this link, I could not share. Dosha, Rasadosha, Prabhavatvaha, Rasavikara, Prabhavi, Nishcha, Sarvatravya. Okay. And yeah. So I think I just initiated to convey my thoughts about the quantification here for the measurement of the quality delivery of therapeutic benefits for the sake of standardization with the potency or the taratama vedas of the rasas. That is the whole theory behind my application here, because everything is an elemental science and these elements have this threshold of the qualities being ascertained and the quality delivery of therapeutic benefits are being with the assessment of the Bhutagnis, and thus the Bhutagni from the Pachakagni is the source of validation uh, for the rasa combinations should be understood and then validated for the claims, validated for the claims of systemic benefits to generalized benefits to rejuvenation to the prevention to the health promotion to therapeutic benefits or other kind of shodhana prakriyas as well as I started mentioning about rasa into the anulomana or rasa into the samsana, things like that. So the rasa standardization has begun ever before when we started studying in post graduation. So the rasa thresholds are also being studied very well with the practicality of volunteering. Like tasting thresholds, like standardized members for the dilution of the rasa, being blindfolded like double blind studies like the potency of the unit of that rasa substance and then consumed it orally to give the validations like pradhana rasa anurasas subsequently what they feel. So these repeated kind of practical tests in the past being done, but that was like subjective validation of the rasa combinations to understand the potency for the claims of any health benefits out of the combinations. We think so. So it's easy for us to understand the pradhana rasa based therapeutic interventions of dosha mitigations. But when it comes to the combinations of rasas into the samavetas, coming like prakriti, anusaratva, or that benefits or the pacifying the doshas or then aggravating the doshas, simultaneously they should be studied in parallel with the analysis of the pradhana rasa and anurasas into the combinations being validated for the potency into the percentage point of view. So the percentage clear predominance of the 5 plus 4 9 madhuratva or madhuratva and then with the other rasas, then the percentage is being made for each rasa anurasas to understand the therapeutic link associated with the claim of that prabhava of the substance that is given. Yeah. Yeah. So if there is any questions, otherwise I can.
If anyone have any queries, please put in the chat box.
Yes, please.
I think Jamal Mustafa have some question. He raised his hand.
Yeah.
Jamal Mustafa, you can just mute and unmute and you can ask the question.
Yes, sir. I have a food serving as a medicine. How to explain patient? It's too difficult to explain that it is food serves as a medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we cannot say medicine unless it is being trialed and then established in the Western countries. Pointly, what we are trying to do and establish the food as a medicine application only by the supplemental quality. So the because every substance with wiseness being given in the moderations have this ability to transform the what you call like we have like a food maps or food mapping or the brains mapped with the taste in the children from the say for example 0 to 1 year age group just a milk group kshirada kshiranada and annada, that kind of divisions. So it is a gradual building of taste threshold for the acceptance of sarvarasa And then the therapeutic benefit of restoration is being found, because it is the as we started understanding paraspara samsparshat sanniveshat anupraveshat anugrahat upakarat, all these things are explained only because the compatibility is much raised to the bio consciousness of the body to accept those rasas. Some examples like the bitter gourd, and many people dislike bitter gourd, but then bitter gourd, when it is prepared with the tamarind and kitul combinations, or bitter gourd with the onion based combinations, and then it's being soaked in this in the turmeric before it's being prepared. So there are so many ways of traditional samskaras applied to the taste to be pleasing or applauding or accepting. And thus the therapeutic benefit is Beshaja. That's what in the chapter it is mentioned as. It's not like Aushada, it is the Beshaja. So the presentation according to the rasa combinations for the mitigation of the doshas is the whole theory in the chapter being explained. And how best can we present our concept into the Beshaja is the Aishahara is now a big deal into the therapeutic restorations. So it's a global acceptance, mass acceptance of our principles are linked to the validation only. Then we can study under those protocols for the evaluation, either by laboratory means of validation to the experimental means of validation, subjective means of validations, and numerology being used for analyzing into therapeutic statistical significance. That way is a point like ahara rasa into the combinations as aushadha turning out. It's not as a potential aushadha like virya pradhanyam aushadham, but rasa pradhanyam aharam. But ahara becomes as a aushadha also in subsequent application of that principle and validated. So this aushadha is not as a nityaga and avastika kalas are also mentioned. So that's the way like avastika vishesha lakshanas are being mitigated by applications, instantly being validated rather than the avastika kala to the kala which is nityaga kala into the subsequent seasonal variations being understood in longitudinal studies. So it is conditional validation is an initiation for the avastika kala vishesha lakshanas being put into the by the rasa prabodhanatva rasa combinations, and thus the cross references from the Charaka's claims are being reinstated or established for the benefits being studied as a evidence to be created. So that way, whether it is yes. So whether it is like cardioprotective means or cardio functionality means, or how the hridya is being, or the pleading into the mind by negativities of the mind is being minimized, like all the Vega chapters in the Charaka mentioned for negativities of the mind is mitigated by the use of these medya prabhavas, because it is applicable to both the ways, like physiological to the psychological means of the medyatva, isn't it? Sorry, hrudyatva. So it's a kind of approach, because it's not like what it is hridaya hitam is hridaya is the central point. Again, the point like paravojas and it's a paravojas studies should be as a means of assessment for these benefits. So then the Vojo Brahmsha, Vojo Chuti, Vojo Nasha, Vojo Kshaya, all these terminologies are being coming into the clinical pictures for the signs and symptoms, for the losing of whatever the dhairya and all this. The characteristics are mentioned psychologically when the Vojas is being overwhelming. With that immunomodulation is being possible with these OJS interventions. So that's the way application should be made for the concepts behind the initiative rasa as a tool or a bigger measurement from the Dravyaguna point of view.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here, everyone. And
Hello, thank you, sir. Sir, Carolina Tong actually raised a hand.
Yeah,
Ma'am, you can unmute yourself and ask question.
Carolina.
Josh, is Carolina here. Good to
Yeah.
be
Hi,
here.
Carolina.
Uh, very interesting topic. In terms of epigenetics, I was just listening to what you said. And so my question is basically like, it's how important would be to have the sattva in the mind in terms of accepting the dravyas that it comes in the rasa, and how can, is it a way to simulate that in, as you said, the presentation or the sensory organs of visualizing?
Mind medicine absolutely is based on that sattva assessment. I even suggested for this campaign of the Prakriti Parikshanam nationwide, it's going on. And then it's very simple ways to make that mind modulation testimonies being done from the Avara Sattva to the Pravara Sattva or into the in between years. Because it's very easy to make indirect ways of questionnaires. For example, anybody say that since past 1 year, how many times you were seeking medical help, or when you get admitted or hospitalized, or the health consciousness. But from the past 1 year is a tool of measurement into the validation from by the questionnaires prepared to understand his mind status. Otherwise, we can easily see that people are like Google doctors. Every time they just check their symptoms and then applicate into their own body physiology, and they feel that, oh my God, this I have or that I have. Or people with the more investigations, they are fussy about even a minute changes into the investigation levels, are also biochemistry or hematological any changes, then they go very much concerned about it. So these are the things to ascertain and see that how avara the sattva is about, because they don't really have any confidence for them to heal themselves, because it's ultimately we are helping people to heal themselves by promotion and by giving the satvika aharas as a means of recommendations, what Ayurveda says about it. And thus, clean body environment is clean for the immune modulation. That is the key for success of prevention of health and ailments. Being studied by Ayurgenomics, how these gene studies are being validated now. So we have to see whether the person is at the moderate level of this sattva. I graded like 33.333 or 66.666 and above or below as a means of questionnaires being raised, and how far they are concerned about their health and what they did in the past is an indirect way of assessment of their mind and sattva. And sattva way that people respond very well, and they are not concerned even the problems are there with the health, and then they just seek the advices and possible ways without getting panicked. And so people panic themselves and panic others is the lower level. People, though panic themselves, still look for some options but do not panic, and then outrightly they do not create a scene is secondary level. And third level is they don't panic at all. And that is the state of the inbuilt mind where the sattva enhancement of tolerance is being gained. So the physical endeavor, physical strength to the mental capacity for the balance is being ascertained by the sattva model of mind assessment. So that is also possible from the major prabhavaka substances, how they are delivering at what level is a significant from the Vimana point of view to study for the mind model studies. Yeah, Carolina was my student, and she was very wonderful to see back here.
Thank you
Mm,
so much.
excellent, excellent.
Me
Thank
this
you for being
opportunity.
here.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see your paper you're publishing. I will read it. Thank you.
Sir, I think there is no further queries from the participants.
Okay, then I think that no other questions. So then we can move on to the vote of thanks. So for that, I will like to welcome Dr. Yellappa GK sir, Professor and HOD, Department of Dravyagana, Shri Babu Singh Ayurveda College. Sir.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. Yellappa GK, HOD in the Department of Dravaguna. As we come to the conclusion of 21st series of Prabodhini webinar on Rasa Panka, it is my honor to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. First, I extend my deepest gratitude to our today's chief guest and my guide, Dr. Venkata Narayana Joshi sir, for sharing your valuable presentation, discussion, and ideas to our audience. It is very much helpful in their practices. A special thanks to our honorable chairman sir and chairperson madam for your continuous support for conducting webinar. And also I thanks to our beloved principal sir for his valuable guidance for conducting the webinar. And I thanks to all the participants and our technical team for the success of this webinar. And also I thanks to everyone again for all. Thank you one and all.
Vande Mataram. So for this, we are going to wind up this session. So those who are registered and attend the session will get the e-certificate within 7 days. Also, we will share the video link to the WhatsApp group. So for this, we are winding up the session. So next month we are coming with a new topic and with a new speaker. Thank you one and all. Namaste.